Hi, Jeff Atone. Hey, I've got something kind of special for you today, or at least special to me. I just picked this up. It arrived today, and ironically, 3 years ago today, I lost my oldest friend. He had a battle with cancer that he didn't make it. But so it was weird, ironic, one of those things where the music soundtrack lines up with your life for the day that today this Pioneer SA9900 Integrated would show up. I ordered it a while back on eBay, and this was something that my old friend Alex had when we were both, in our first year of college. He ended up buying one of these. I went with him. We went to Pacific Stereo down on 27th Street in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and we bought this big pair of 15-inch two-way Serwin Vegas and a Technics 1200. I helped him carry it all home, and I have to admit, I was pretty envious of this amp. As you can see, this thing is pretty statuesque. And it's got tone controls. Actually, some very cool tone controls at 50 and 100 hertz for bass, 10K and 20K for treble, so you can really gently adjust what this does and how it interacts with your speakers. Plenty of inputs and outputs. And there's even an adjustable impedance for phono 2, which is kind of good if you've got one of the older Shure MMs, because they tend to like to be loaded just a little bit higher than 47K. As you can see, pretty unique to the 1970s Japanese designs. Plenty of inputs and outputs. We can separate the power and preamp. No audiophile cables here. It has unswitched and switched outlets, so you can plug a tuner or cassette deck in. Almost till the day he was gone, it sat and languished in his living room, and I kept trying to get him to send it to me so I could get it restored for him. But that's not the way the movie ended. So anyway, this is, if by chance you've been thinking about maybe a big Marantz or a big Pioneer, one of those super Japanese receivers, you've probably noticed how expensive these have gotten lately. And, if you don't have a great FM station where you live, or if FM's just not that important to you, but you still dig the performance of those big Japanese receivers, consider an integrated, because these have not gotten crazy money yet. You can find one of these in pretty decent shape between about $800 and $1,500. So it's expensive, but it's not, it's not crazy money. Some of the top Marantz receivers have 5-figure price tags on them now. So, this is a good way to get into vintage. That's a fairly useful piece that, can drive just about any speakers. This was actually rated at 110 watts per channel into 8 ohms. So, it's fairly robust. There's a 9500 and a 9500 Series 2. The 2 is much more rare and, you guessed it, more expensive. The 2, when you flip the top, it has individual power transformers and smaller power supply caps, where the Series 1 that you see here has one big transformer and one big pair of power supply caps. These actually look okay, but I think they probably should be redone for safety's sake. More on that later. So when we're done here, I'm going to take this out to the garage and hook it up to the ESS AMT1s for old time's sake, and fire it up and spin Dark Side of the Moon for my old friend's sake. And that's a big part of vintage audio. I think that's a really cool part and personal part of vintage audio, that a lot of times these things really played a big part of your life as you were growing up or going throughout your life. And the memories that come with it are a lot of times more important than anything else. So, hey, thanks for sharing a pretty personal moment with me today. And we'll see you again next time. Bye.